It's just hello. Oh,
Hello, testing. Is one working?
okay. We got our thumbs up.
Hello, just checking.
Okay, thumbs up. All right, let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to our Genshin Impact voice actor panel. Yay! So, my name is Mel,
I'm Philip.
and we're going to be your moderators for today. We also have our awesome mic runner, Sapna. I don't know, she's right there. So she will be fielding questions when we get to the Q&A section. All right. So we have our awesome voice actors here. Philip, would you like to introduce?
So we have three amazing voice actors here, and we'll be going over their experiences voicing characters from Genshin Impact, as well as their overall careers. And as we mentioned before, we'll be opening the floor to an audience Q&A later on, so stick around till the end to find out.
All right, let's get right into it. Panelists, would you please introduce yourselves by saying your name, your Genshin character, and how long you've been a voice actor for? Start with Anne.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ann Yatco. I voice Raiden Shogun in Genshin Impact, and I've been a voice actor for 12 years? But 12 years. I've been a voice actor for 12 years. Yes. I can do the math. Math's hard.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anjali. I voice Dori in Genshin Impact, and I have been a voice actor now for like 3 years. Which is not as impressive as 12, but it's.
I mean,
what
what was I doing?
are you
What was I
in your
doing for most of the
career?
12 years? Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Oh my gosh, no, I think that's super impressive. Where you've gone in 3 years is incredible. I'm Stephanie Southerland. I voice Jean in Genshin Impact, and I know for sure I've been full-time voice acting for about 2018. Math is hard. 6 years, but I think it's been about 10 years for me. So yeah, I'm excited to be here with y'all. Yay!
Awesome. So now that we're all acquainted, I'd like to start the panel off with some career-oriented questions for any aspiring voice actors in the crowd. So let's just start from the beginning. How did you get your start as a voice actor, and what really inspired you to choose the profession?
When I was 6 years old, I saw The Little Mermaid, and I was like, that's what I want to be. I want to be a mermaid. Which is not real. So I was like, okay, I'll just be the voice of a Disney princess. And that was like the first seed. But like growing up, like I took piano lessons, I took voice lessons, I acted in all my school plays, all the musicals, and then I went off to college to get a degree in biomedical engineering, like everyone does. Yeah, so I was gonna be I was pre-med and I was gonna go to medical school, but I was doing theater the entire time that I was at Marquette University, and my acting mentor at the end of my during my senior year said that I should audition for grad school for acting, and I was like, that's crazy, but I did it anyway, and I got into grad school for acting, and that led me to California. So I got my MFA at the California Institute of the Arts. And then I was ready to become an actor and go to Broadway. And wow, it's really hard to make a living as a theater actor in Los Angeles. I don't know if anyone knows that. It's not a theater town. It's not friendly. And so I found a day job as a forensic scientist while I tread the boards. But I took voiceover classes while I was like, doing my day job stuff, and I just started auditioning. I cut a demo, started auditioning, and like built my resume slowly but surely. Within like that first half of the 12 years I talked about, that was mostly just me doing it very, very part-time. But then eventually I quit my day job and took a gamble on it. And then during pandemic, I booked Jujutsu Kaisen. And that was kind of like the first really big thing that I'd ever done. And so from there, that's where my career really started to take off. Yeah, that's my story.
I love it.
Your life is like a movie.
Thank you.
It's like Barry Allen, like double life, except instead of like superhero actor.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm a scientist actor, yeah.
We actually have a very similar story because, well, I didn't grow up acting at all. I was in, I would say, like a very, classic, like immigrant family. We were very, very big on like studies and a practical career. And, you know, I spent all my time on the debate team and like student council and stuff like that. And it was when I got to college and I actually was a pandemic college student. It hit like my junior year of college. It was around that time that like I accidentally fell into acting. I'd always been a big fan of animation. I'd loved it since I was a kid. I don't know if I ever went outside as a child because I was watching cartoons all the time. But I was especially always interested in voice acting, but it was always sort of like that's a thing other people do. That's not something I could do. But when I was in college, I like got accidentally into like some podcasts and fictional audio dramas, and was like, this is a really cool hobby. Nothing's gonna come of this. Pandemic hit. Suddenly every acting teacher, every class was online. I was like, let me take a class. This is fun. Maybe I'll take a class. And then it quickly spiraled. And it became an obsession. And I fell in love with acting. And so I was going into my senior year of college, still remote. And I was like, what if I like really gave myself a chance at this? Graduated, was like, I'm gonna give myself a year. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, law school, like my parents wanted. And I'm not a lawyer, so it worked out. And
Spoiler.
here we are.
Yeah.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. That is so cool. It's cool to hear like where we all come from because there's some like familiarity in all of our stories that we like all ended up where we are. But it's cool because I don't think there's one single path that we take to become a voice actor. I think for me, oh gosh, this is gonna make me seem really old. There's a movie called Mrs. Doubtfire, and in it, Robin Williams is a voice actor, and I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 5 years old when it came out. I'm not even sure, but I remember being like, "What? That's how cartoon voices are like are made." It's someone who's reading those lines. Like it blew my mind, and so that's when it really came in on my peripheral. But I didn't. I was like you, Anjali. Like I didn't didn't think that was the job for me. Like that was for other people to do. But in the meantime, like I grew up dancing competitively and then doing theater in high school and I decided that I really wanted to do musical theater and go do the Broadway thing. And so I got my BFA in music dance theater and I got to my final semester senior year and I was like, I'm tired. I can't do this. I want to be home with my cats. Like I just am such a homebody, and 8 shows a week was a lot for me. So I pivoted, and my brother-in-law happens to work in animation. He's a film editor, and at the time he was working. So I grew up in Utah, and my husband and I drove out to LA to visit my brother-in-law, and at the time he was working on Hotel Transylvania at Sony Pictures in Culver City, and he signed us onto the lot, and they happened to be doing a loop group session, and it's where they have all the extra care, like all the additional voices that come in and essentially create the world that the characters live in. And I watched this session, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And it gave me some direction. So when my husband and I moved to LA, I started taking classes specifically for voiceover because I had the acting background, but I didn't know my way around a mic in front of me. I knew the mic like that was pinned under my wigs from the theater, and and so I started taking voiceover classes. I started working at a casting house as a casting director for commercial voiceover, and eventually I was like, oh, I want to have more jobs for myself instead of casting other people. So I decided to pivot and went full time as a voice actor, and yeah, the rest is history. Here I am. Yeah, hooray! It's fun to get to know where you guys.
Yeah, same.
I love hearing people's like lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our lore. Yeah,
Our
exactly.
origin stories.
Oh my gosh, how it all began.
Yeah, like Stephanie touched on, it's great to hear like a wide variety of backgrounds and how you guys got to where you are now. So hopefully, if any inspiring voice actors are in the crowd, no matter where you are, maybe take that step.
Yeah.
So let's move on to another question. What does a typical workday look like for a VA?
There
Ooh.
is none.
Yeah.
I
Every
have
day
no
is
idea.
different.
Yeah. We're freelance. So, some days we have 3 jobs and some weeks we'll go maybe only working 1 day a week.
Mhm.
Like it just depends.
Yeah. And in the meantime, it's just auditioning, auditioning, auditioning. I
Mhm.
think that there's a bit of a misconception that like you decide to become a voice actor and you get your agent and then they're like, here's some jobs. But it's you get your agent and then they're like, here are auditions. So you can send them in and send them out to the ether and hope that they get heard and hope that you get picked. So really the job is auditioning. And sometimes you don't book an actual job for weeks at a time, and then other times it's like when it rains it pours and you're like, I don't know how to schedule my life. But it just varies. Every day is different, and you never know when it comes to auditions. You never know what's gonna land in your inbox. Like it could be anything. It could be a video game. It could be a commercial.
A diaper commercial.
diaper
Anything.
commercial.
It's true. It's the only consistency is that there are auditions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then the rest is who knows.
Yeah, well, that's such a good way of putting it. Yeah. So auditioning is the job. But yeah, I spend a lot of my days in my booth and just knocking out auditions. And I don't know, what would you guys say like what percent of auditions do you actually book?
I've actually never done the
No
math.
idea.
I haven't either.
I have no idea.
I'm always curious for people.
I think like on average they say it's like 3 or 4% or something like that.
yeah, it's like a very
very
small
low.
amount.
It's really
It's
small.
low.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're sending hundreds of auditions, and it's cool too because it's like sometimes most times we don't get the job, but our peers do, and we're like,
Yeah.
yay, that's perfect for them. So that's kind of a nice little treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we talked about auditioning and getting a job is hard, but when you do get a job, how do you go about voicing a new character? And what kind of materials are you usually given?
It's so another thing that's very inconsistent is sometimes you go into a session and they, just from the audition, you know what the project is, you know who the character is, maybe it's an existing IP, you might have character art already, you might have heard a voice reference, and then sometimes you go into a job, you know nothing. It's like under some it's like Project XYZ. You don't know what the name of the game is or the animation or whatever.
code
You
names.
just show up. You don't know what kind of character you're playing. Sometimes you leave the session, you still don't know what character you're playing.
And you still don't know the game title, too.
Yeah, it's just it's so all over the place.
Yeah, because there are some studios that they'll put out dummy sides, so like they're just like kind of generic sides to get a feel for like the general vibe of a group of characters they're trying to audition for, and you'll just audition these dummy sides, and then you'll walk into your actual session. It'll be like, here's your character, and it's nothing that you've said before. It might even be a completely different like voice print or like accent than you even auditioned for, but they liked something you did in that audition, and that inspired them to cast you in this character.
Or sometimes it's just so sensitive they can't like risk any information about the project releasing. So they'll just come up with like sides to it'll be like this is set in space and it's like very Star Wars and the actual game's like a fantasy game or something.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
You know-
They
you have no
change
idea.
so much. They change so much. It's wild. Yeah, and I think like it's so helpful to have a picture reference. Like, what does the character look like? And sometimes they give like a background of what the character's the hobbies are, interests, and what their personality is like. And that's so helpful when it comes to like voicing a character. But sometimes you get in sessions with video games, for example. The SAG guidelines or rules are they get you for 3 voices. So sometimes you're cast. So for example, like what is an example? Let's use Genshin Impact, I guess. Like you have Jean, and then they're like, but we also have the ancillary characters, some like NPCs, and so they're like, okay, can you do a different voice for this character? And you're like, okay, you just have to be able to like, be willing and able to say yes and try new things. And sometimes they're like, oh, that's too close to your other character, and sometimes they're like, perfect, well we got that, that'll work for this. So it's there's a lot of different ways. You got to be able to think on your
Gotta
feet.
be ready for anything.
Ready for anything.
Yeah.
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 I love it. We're all on the same page here.
But it's so much fun. Every day is new and different and exciting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think one of the best qualities in a working voice actor is the ability to roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can like be given information for the first time and be able to just like make choices and go, like you're gonna be fine as an actor.
Mm-hmm. And I think when preparation meets that quality of being able to say yes and to just jump right in, it's just going to be better off. So so like for example, I'm working on my dialects because I struggle with different dialects. But like I was in a session just last week, and they were like, okay, we need a character who is different from the one that you're playing. But she can't be Southern, like U.S. Southern. And I was like, okay, where could I go? Okay, let's go to New York. And so I was able to do that and just pull that out of my pocket. So it's like that preparation meeting that, yeah, let's try it. We might as well. And they were like, great, this works perfect. So yeah, it's a cool gig to be able to just play. And I just spat over play. Plosive, y'all.
Voice actor joke.
No, no.
Oh yeah, plosive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we love it.
Well, that actually leads perfectly into the next question, talking about adaptability being a great trait for voice actors. So aside from your voices, what's something that you think has helped you grow in your field, become so successful?
Oh gosh.
I have no idea.
This is like a technical thing, but being able to cold read. This
yeah.
goes back
Yeah.
to, this is similar to the thing about being able to like roll with the punches, but cold reading is being able to take a piece of text for the very first time and read it for the first time with all your acting choices intact and with as few mistakes as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so, so, so rare to get a script before your session.
Yeah.
And all that we said about like not knowing what you're going in for, that means you, like for example, for anime, you can't go in and have, having done the prep work and read the manga, if you don't know what you're going in for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just show up and do the thing.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready, and you have to be able to read the script and just do the thing. So
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah, I think it was D. Bradley Baker who said, like, just start reading, like, open up a book and read out loud. Because the ability to read silently in your head is different from reading out loud. And so practicing and just grabbing any book, whatever it could be, just grabbing it and just practicing that is so incredibly helpful. I know a lot of voice actors who do a lot of medical narration, and that stuff is really hard because you have to learn how to, all the different pronunciations for pharmaceuticals and medical stuff. I mean, stuff that I don't know anything about, but because they've practiced and they've learned different pronunciations and stuff, it's super helpful. But even just if you grab a fantasy novel or whatever your interest is, just practice reading out loud, and that's a really, really great tool because you're going to be thrown in a session. They'll pull up a spreadsheet, and it's like right there in front of you, and you're just reading things for the first time and having to be able to roll with the punches. And I think there's that what is it called? Like improv rule, just say yes and to things, and that's what we got to do as voice actors. I was also going to say another thing that's helped me a lot is like making connections, like getting to know people. It's so important in our industry. Like who they say in Hollywood, it's like who you know is everything, and in a way, it's kind of true. Like you're building these connections and making.
They can't hire you if they don't know who you are.
That's so true.
Exactly, and like you may meet someone and they might be working as an assistant and not producing anything, but then in a couple of years they could be like creating a new show and they're a new showrunner, or they've stepped into a role as a producer of a game, and you just never know where people are going to end up and how it can impact your career. Your career. You never know. And so I think just getting to know people and being genuine about it, like not trying to meet people so they can get you a job, just being a good person and being curious about people, getting to know them as humans. And so those connections, I think, have helped me a lot.
I also think something else outside of the booth that I think has personally been a big help for me is everyone in this industry tends to wear a lot of hats. A lot of people are, they're writers, they're directors, they cast, they do whatever. And for me, I do a lot of stuff too. I do too much sometimes. But everything I've done, different like ways that you're involved in like the storytelling process in some way, personally has helped me so much as an actor. Like I've directed a couple projects. From that, I've learned, well, you know, my relationship with the director as an actor, what are the things that they're trying to get out of me? What is their reasoning, or like how can I help them do their job easier? Like there are things that you can make connections with from being on the other side of the you know, glass. And same thing with like casting, same thing with writing especially. It's like understanding like the vision of like how you're crafting the words for it to come out of someone's mouth. Like what is the relationship between the words and the delivery that like a writer is trying to capture, that you have to like sort of meet them in the middle with as an actor. I think there are just lots of perspectives to learn from, and so that's been really helpful for me personally.
Yeah, and every perspective is so valuable. Like I had a mentor who explained it like we're all working on a puzzle, like a big puzzle together. So for Genshin Impact, for example, like you have this whole world, and there are the devs, there are the writers, there are the localization team, producers, you know, so many different roles who are such an important piece of the puzzle, and voice actors are another piece of that puzzle. And so if we know what the big picture is, I think it really helps us to make the product a better thing and be more clear about painting this beautiful piece together. So yeah, I love that. That's really great. Yeah.
Oh, I will say one more thing. Sorry, one more thing. Go live your lives. Like, get a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, be people, because like the best place to learn about humanity is by like living it. So, go live life. Don't just go touch grass.
Touch grass.
Go touch grass. Yeah.
Get some vitamin D with that sunshine. I think that's so important.
Yes.
Well, speaking of hobbies and preparing for roles that maybe you don't know exactly who you're going to voice, have you guys ever gotten into like a game or a series from a role you've done, like Genshin?
Wait, say that again?
Have you ever gotten
Like as a
into
fan?
like become like a fan instead of like a voice?
Oh yeah. I didn't know anything about Jujutsu Kaisen before I auditioned for it, and it is my life now. I legitimately would be a huge fan of Jujutsu Kaisen even if I wasn't in it. So it's just lucky that I happen to also be in it. Yay! But also Genshin. Like I didn't think I was gonna like be as into the game as I am, but I actually picked it up before. Like I picked it up for a little while when it first came out, and I was like, "This is a cool game. I'm gonna stop playing it because it is taking up too much of my time, and I need to focus on acting." So I did that, and then when I finally booked the Raiden Shogun, I was like, "Oh, I should pick up that game again." And I was like, "Oh crap, this is really fun. Oh no, my wallet's in danger." But now I like play it all the time, and I stream it, and it's fun. And my wallet is very much in danger. Sorry.
Whoopsie.
Oh my gosh. I'm not a gamer. I play chess on my phone. It's not good, you guys. But I feel like there are definitely anime that I've like gotten into. That I'm trying to think of any that I like wasn't already into or didn't know at least before I was in it. And I think the closest right now is Heaven Official's Blessing, if anyone knows it in
Oh,
here.
such a good job.
I
gas.
just got the books. If I haven't already ranted to you about this at my table, I've just gotten the books, so I fear it's coming. I've been spoiled for everything, but I'm about to read it, and it's gonna be bad, you guys. Yeah,
In
I
the
think that's
best
probably-
way.
Yes, in the best way, but also in a really painful way.
Wait, what was the question? I was like just enjoying listening to you guys. Well, I played Genshin for a little bit early on, and then my phone was running out of space, and I was like, so I haven't picked it up since. But I'm learning to accept about myself that I am a puzzle gamer to the max. I love a puzzle, and
We're the same.
yes, totally. Like I think my little brain is like, there's so many things to explore. Whereas a puzzle, I'm like, I can focus and like zone in. And I booked this role that came out recently in the last couple of months in Cookie Run Witch's Castle, and I actually got here, and Anjali and I just met for the first time in person. Like we've known each other online, like parasocial relationship of it all. But we finally met, and I was like, "You're how do you say her name?" Sacratot Cookie, and I voiced Radish Cookie, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's a puzzle game," and I can't put that thing down. Like right before we started, I was like playing it over here, and it's just such a cute game. So yeah, I'm a diehard Cookie Run Witch's Castle girly. They're just so dang cute, and the stories are quite compelling, might I add.
Well, thank you for all those very lovely, informative answers. I feel like I learned a lot about voice acting that I didn't already know, and I've been like a theater kid since I was in middle school.
Love
But
it.
thank you for that. It was really cool. So now I'm going to pivot to some questions about your experiences voicing Genshin in particular, and then maybe even about the game for. I'm sure everyone here is a Genshin fan, because why else would they be here? All right. So I did want to ask you guys, how well do you think you would get along with your character?
That's a great question.
I'm so gullible that
Oh no.
it wouldn't be good. I would be broke. It just wouldn't be good. It's like whatever happened with Dori and Kave, I fear that would be me.
So relatable.
But you'd have like the best house.
Yeah.
But no money.
But no money. Okay, fair.
Fair.
I think I would get along great with A because we would go out for desserts and then it'd be gravy from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that Jean and I are similar in that like we're both workaholics and always stressed. And so I think that we would get along well, and we would be those friends who would like sit in the same room, like happy to be together, but like separately working and like scrambling, like getting stuff done. And I think we would do quite well, but hopefully we could balance each other out. Jean could be teach me to be a little more focused, perhaps, and I could teach Jean to relax a bit.
I love that.
Although I'm stressed, so why am I saying that? I don't know. Who am I? What am I?
Just trigger an existential crisis.
Oh no.
Oh no, guys, I gotta go.
And do you think you would get along with the Shogun? You said you would get along with A.
I
but
would
what
get
about the
along with
Shogun?
A a lot. Shogun? No, she'd get really tired of me real fast. I'm a silly girl.
Very-
She would have no patience for me.
Oh no. My other question for you guys is, do you have a favorite voice line for your character? And if so, would you be willing to recreate it for the audience?
Oh yeah.
Sure. Okay, here's mine. Ready? Who? You're welcome.
Beautiful.
great.
Wow. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think my favorite of Dori's is her little song. Her little,
I love Mora, and Mora loves me. I love Mora, and it makes me
Cute.
oh my gosh.
Oh man, I feel like with Jean's so serious, but she does dream of pizza from Cat's Tail, and I love pizza. But no, I think that my favorite line is either I swear by this sword, victory shall be yours, or as the wind continues to blow, so too shall I continue to fight. I just think of the resilience. She's just a resilient girly.
She's a girl boss.
She's a girl boss.
Right on.
I have one final question, mostly for Anjali. You voiced a character in Honkai Star Rail as well as Genshin. What was it like voicing the two, and was it like different in any way?
I think it was very different because the characters are very different. Because Dori, is a swindler, and Sushang is like just so good-hearted and like wants to help everyone and is like just this very morally upright character. So they're very different. Recording them is not that different. A lot of the time, I think we work with like scripts that we haven't necessarily seen before. We don't always get the character. It's the process that we described earlier, but it's more the end result where I'm like, they are quite different. There's a giant chicken here. Where did that come from?
That's my favorite part of Susha.
It actually is crazy. I mean, Dori has her like genie.
Yeah,
So they both have their
yeah.
things,
But
and
that
I'm
chicken
like,
is great.
what if they switch? I don't know. There's so many possibilities.
I love it.
I also
An electric chicken.
Yeah, no, crazy. Also, from your question from earlier about like if I were to ever meet Dori, my thinking is, what if Sushang had ever met Dori? Because I fear Sushang's even more gullible than me.
Yeah.
So I worry about that girl.
I think like Dori is the swindler, Sushang is the swindled.
Yes.
Very sad.
That wow,
That's
thesis
accurate.
statement. Yeah.
Accurate.
But we love them both. Well,
Here,
thank you
here.
for that, guys. It was very, very cool.
All right, well, that was fun. Thank you so much for answering our questions. But obviously, we're not the only ones with questions. So we'll be moving on to the audience Q&A. So if anyone with a question would like to line up near the mic here, our mic runner will be screening your questions first, and then we'll proceed with the Q&A.
Yay. Questions.
Don't be afraid. They're all very nice.
We don't bite.
Sometimes we're mean though.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't want to.
Glare at
We're
you.
the rudest dudes ever.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
I love that.
I won't.
We're like the biker gang from Greece. Us.
Doing a little dance and it's like
Testing, testing, testing.
You sound great.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming to UCSD for this
Thank
panel.
you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm really nervous right now. It's like
Don't
it's like
be.
You're
one of the
doing
first times I've ever done something like this. So I think one of the first things that Genshin enticed me about was like the regions and whatnot, where you really get to like explore different parts of the world that Genshin has to offer with Mondstadt, Liyue, Inazuma, etc. So with that being said, I want to ask you guys like, what region would you guys consider living in Genshin?
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I don't know how to say it very well, but Liyue is like so lovely. I feel
It's
like
pretty.
it's so beautiful. But also
It
like
is really
Mondstadt is home. Like I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
think with my Scandinavian roots, like the windmills and whatnot. Like I don't know. I just love it. But yeah, I just think Liyue is so beautiful.
I want to be the travel. I want to travel.
Yeah.
I want to go
Can
to
we
all of
take go to all of
them?
Liyue? Yes. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Although I
idea.
am partial to Inazuma for obvious reasons.
Fair. Very fair.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's a great question.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Oh, fuck.
You
Sorry.
sound
No, it's
beautiful.
It's okay. You sound great.
You're so
Don't be
quiet.
scared. Don't be scared.
Okay. First off, I would like to say all of your voice work is I respect it a lot. Your work is very inspiring, and hearing your journeys is also very like inspiring to hear, especially considering how you all have like come from different like journeys and stuff. I just wanted to ask, like, especially when dealing with something new or just taking the jump into something new, especially like career-wise, like that can be very scary. And I just like to ask, like, how do you deal with that fear?
That's such a good question because the imposter syndrome is real.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
think-
Still.
Yeah, I think we're
The
all
fear
like,
of
we just don't
failure.
like it. Yeah,
It's a lot.
totally.
I mean, listen, like I had like a full-time day job, okay? Like I was a forensic scientist working like 9 to 5 every day for like 7.5 years. And I like quit that day job to like pursue acting full time. And that was scary. But at that point, like I had been saving up my money. Like I was preparing as I was like nearing toward the end, right? And like I had many talks with my husband about like how we were going to manage our finances. Like there's a lot of planning involved if you're going to do something like that. But if it's what you really want to do, just make sure that you're prepared, and you have like your ducks in a row. Because more importantly than like, I think pursuing your dreams is lovely, but also paying your bills is great. So please make sure you pay your bills.
Yeah, I think that like what I was saying, like imposter syndrome is so real, and sometimes I'm like, they haven't figured me out that I do not know anything, and like I've just gotten so lucky. But then I think just knowing, like, just just trying, even if it's hard to like, if it's hard to trust in yourself, just like keep planting that seed and keep telling yourself, like positive self-talk for me has gone so helped me so much. With my little anxious, my anxious little self. So I think that just being like, you're doing great, you're doing the work. Just positive self-talk in general has really helped me a lot. Yeah.
I agree with you, but I'm about to disagree with you with what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Because I often say to people, to be an actor is to be delusional, like a little, you have to be a little bit delusional.
It's true.
And I think that's true, like probably in any creative space. You need to be very, very practical in some ways. You need to be prepared for the worst. You need to be able to, oftentimes we supplement with like other jobs. We, you know, there's all of that. And then there's a part of you that like has to like believe the dream. Like the passion is there, but I think you do have to be a little bit delusional to like, be like, I can do this. Despite the odds, the 1,000,000 to 1 odds, I can do this. And maybe you're the one, and maybe you can. And then I think that's what keeps you going, because it is really, really hard. Yeah. But when you love something so much, it's like even that like 1% chance keeps you going. And at least for me, I think that's been like a pretty consistent thing that's like kept me motivated.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Is it, or is it delusional?
You know,
But
the
also pay your bills,
delusion.
please.
Yeah.
Some very emotional and financially responsible advice
Yes.
for people who might be a little more impulsively spending, especially for kitchen players.
Thank you. That's a
Thank
great
you,
question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, if you could have a voice line added for your character, any context or event in game, or just a funny thing, what would it be, and would you mind saying it in the respective characters' voices, if possible, please?
I think I heard half of the question. Can you say it
A
again?
little slower.
You were a little far from the microphone. I'm so sorry.
If you could have a voice line added for your character, any context or event in the game, or just a funny thing, what would it be, and would you mind saying it in the respective character's voice, if possible, please?
Oh,
voice line.
I don't like doing. I don't like doing voice lines that aren't in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to not do that because I don't want MiHoYo to fire me. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like Cleo's little cute little things like Master Jean is the best. Like but like I feel like I can't say it in Jean's voice. I could try to do my best Punambasu Cleo. She's just like Master Jean is the best. Like just so, she's just so cute. And
That's so
she's just my
cute.
favorite. And what's a D Luke? He's such a meanie. Like she says something about him being a meanie. I love it.
I like the idea of like Dori just like mocking other characters and saying their voice lines back to them.
That's cute,
That would
yeah.
be funny.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that would be a fun concept.
Totally.
I want there to be a scene where Ito finally gets to meet Raiden Shogun, and he's all like, "Dude, we gotta go at it." And she's like, "Who are you? Who are you? Stop sending me letters." But yeah, thanks.
Hi guys, I like all your work and super fan.
Thank you.
The question is like, since Genshin is like so big, and I'm guessing you guys have done it for like a long time. Like, did you try to like build like a bond, a little more chemistry between you guys and your scene partners, at least in the game, or like just like professionally? Like, do you still like try to like build an extra bond with your scene partners, or is it just more like?
Okay, so when we go in to record for Genshin Impact, or actually when we go in to record for just about everything, I don't know what this ringing is, and it's scaring me. We're almost always by ourselves.
Yeah.
So like, there's no actual scene partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just us and a microphone
And
a
we're
spreadsheet with our
imagining.
lines.
And during the pandemic, we were truly alone.
Yes.
We were
So
in our
alone.
closets, or some of us who had booths at home were in our booths with just voices in our ears.
Yeah.
We had no one.
And I think it takes like trusting the director to guide us, and
Mhm.
so we were responding as we would as the characters in those situations. But I don't know. I think like as a community, the Genshin Impact actors are all like we're all pretty pretty good friends and have a lot of respect for each other. I know like Kelly Baskin and Brittany Cox and Brenna Larson and I are really good friends. Kelly is the voice of Amber, Brittany's the voice of Fischl, and Brenna is the voice of Navia, and they are some of my closest friends. And it's really fun to get to be in a property with friends that I've made in this career, and now my new friend Anjali and Anne.
That's the thing, is there's also a lot of like built-in friends and family, it feels like, because you might have never met, but we're like, we have this shared community and connection, and it's really cool.
Yeah. It's pretty special. It's a built-in family. I love that.
Yeah,
like,
we don't always get to see each other. We rarely get to see each other, like especially like in the large group, like
In lobbies.
Lobbies of
we get to
studios.
see each other in lobbies every once in a while, or like I'll do like one lunch with somebody like once every like 5 months. But it's always nice to get like catch up, and I feel like even if we don't know each other very well, there, because we have like that shared experience, like there's some bond there. that
Yeah.
just like it's easy to pick up.
Yeah. I love it. That's a great question.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Super small follow-up for Anne.
Yes.
So, have you met Yaimiko or not?
Oh, Retna's great. We love each
Okay.
other.
Like
Yeah.
this?
Huh?
Like this?
Oh, we're good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Love it.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, if you were to voice another character in Genshin, who would you voice?
Ito.
Yeah.
He has so much fun with
He
those.
has so much fun.
Like,
I know.
that would be so great. Again, I'm imagining I'm again imagining this all in Dory's voice, which makes it even funnier.
That's great. That's so good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm like, what? There's just so many great characters. I mean, I think that Kaya is so fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just think Kaya's just like the cool, like relaxed uncle type character, and I just love him for it. So that would be kind of fun if we did like a little gender bender moment, and yeah, that would be fun. But like, all the characters are so good.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think I would want to voice a dude too. Let me voice a dude. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Honestly, I love the character of Hal Hatham. I think he's so funny because he's so like dry. I want to play a character like that. Yeah. Let me play a sexy dude.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's a great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I just wanted to thank you all for being here, and also just thank you for like bringing all the characters that we all know and love to life. And so with that being said, I just want to ask, what's everybody's favorite Genshin characters besides the obligatory mention of your own character?
Zhongli. I love Peepa.
I feel like I've already basically said,
Yeah,
but Ito,
Ito.
yeah, I just think he's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Beto's pretty cool. I think
Yeah.
Beto's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of girl bosses.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's who I'd pick.
Heck
Beto.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. You sound great.
Yeah, I got to meet both you, Stephanie, and Anne earlier, and that was great. So I have a question for Anjali, which is specifically, what is your experience being an openly non-binary person in this industry, and also if you have any stories or tips for other queer people?
I will answer the second question first, which is I'm very involved with an organization called QueerVox, which is, if you're interested in voice acting, specifically for queer voice actors, like we run a bunch of workshops and have all these great resources and a directory of queer voice actors that we push towards the industry, towards casting directors, agencies, etc., trying to, connect people with opportunities. It's amazing. There's a Discord of wonderful people, a great community. Check it out. As for the first question, it's a developing industry. I think we still have a lot of challenges, but I think about how in the very short time I've been a part of the industry, I can already clock such a tangible change in how I think the effort people are putting in to try to not just do their due diligence and, try to get things right in terms of casting, in terms of how they represent characters, but also genuinely to try to understand and welcome actors of all different identities in a space that just was not open to them for a very, very long time. There are lots of challenges we face and a lot of like very specific identity specific challenges. And so, you know, we're not a monolith, all facing different issues. But things are happening. We're pushing the needle forward little by little, and it's so incredible to see. So overall, feeling really hopeful.
That's incredible.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
Great question.
Yeah, of course.
Hello.
Hello.
I would like to thank you guys for all coming here because
Oh,
like
thank
I
you.
never thought I'm gonna meet like a voice actor, so it's
Oh.
very nice.
Thank
Um,
you.
One question I have for all of you, but particularly to the Raiden Shogun.
Okay.
What do you think about when that one NPC said, "None can contend with the Raiden Shogun and the Muso no Hitotachi"?
I mean, he was right to a point.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great question. And yeah, that's so fun.
I think it's cool that like when you like first come to Inazuma, like you get this like through like talking to everyone like on the island, like you get the sense of like the scale of like Raiden Shogun and like how large she looms in people's minds. And then to meet her for the first time, it's like, oh, and
Oh,
then she's
yeah.
actually real and pulling a sword out of her boobs.
Magical.
Truly she's a magical girl, you guys.
She's real and she's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's so
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Hi. Oh, thank you so much for coming to UCSD. I have one question for Stephanie and another one for everyone else. So I think the first one, I don't know if I was like gaslighting myself, but did you name your pet after Klee?
I actually, so I fostered kittens, and we had a batch of kittens, and so we've had. I say we, my husband and I. We don't have human children. We have foster kittens, but we had a batch of kittens that came through, and one of them was so tiny and so naughty, and I was like, her name is Klee. And so, and then the other one, he's a little boy, and I was like, well, he's also very little, but he's like kind of sweet and like, and just the cutest little thing. So we named him Timmy. So they got adopted, and their new dad is, well, not new dad. They're like 2 years old now. Wow, time is weird. They're 2 years old now, and we stay in contact with him and with them, and little Klee, even though she's been renamed, but she's still feisty as ever. She would definitely blow things up if she had thumbs. Yep, but it was a great time. Right now, our batch of kittens don't have really like any. Their names are not like memorable. It's like Orangey Boy, Cow, New Girl, because we thought she was a boy until she got spayed, and they were like, surprise. And then it's the littlest girl. She's just a little girl, but what did we name her? Anyway, we've had like 90 plus kittens, but Clea and Timmy will always be special.
You were
foster
living the
kittens.
best life.
Oh my gosh,
Dang.
kitten time is the best time. I always struggle with social media, and I'm like, why don't I just post the kittens? They're so cute.
Do it.
They're so dang cute.
That's so cute. And then the other question was, I know you guys talked about cold reading, so did you guys also cold read for your Genshin characters?
Yeah,
No.
in sessions.
Yeah, in the sessions, yeah, but like for like auditioning, no, we had time.
not
for
for
those.
auditions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but when we're actually on the job, yeah, you know, like we're
Yeah.
seeing all that dialogue for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there was probably a second or third take,
Mhm.
Yeah.
a good percentage of the time, but yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank
Welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is to all of you. Other Genshin voice actors said that they auditioned for other Genshin characters before landing the one that they did. So I'm curious if any of you that you know of auditioned for other Genshin Genshin characters before landing the one you did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I definitely did, and yet I can't remember what characters.
I mean, I know like when I auditioned for Raiden Shogun, like she came in a packet of
Mhm.
characters, so it was like most of the Inazuma ladies. So
Yeah.
they're somewhere out in the ether are clips of me trying to be the other Inazuma ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same.
Same.
Yeah.
And Gina's so early. Like you meet, she's one of the first 5 characters you meet. And I remember that packet, it was Paimon. So imagine me trying to voice Paimon. Amber, Venti was in that packet. Gosh, I'm trying to think what other ones, but yeah, like we read what is sent to us because it's an opportunity to play, and so yeah, I definitely remember reading on those ones, and also connecting super well with Jean, being like, oh, she's also a homebody who likes cats and is stressed all the time. So yeah, so that it worked out. But I remember seeing Karina Becker, who's the voice of Paimon, at the callback that I had for Jean, and I was like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And they were like, "Oh, I have a callback for Paimon." And I was like, if Karina does not get Paimon, I'm gonna be so mad. And it worked out that they booked that role, and they're perfect for our sweet little emergency food. Yeah, that was a fun question. Thank you.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Hi. Thank you
Hi,
for
hi.
coming to UCSD today. I hope you are enjoying this panel. My question for you all is, what kind of characters are your favorite to voice act as?
Ooh.
The ones that I get paid to do.
Yeah.
Here.
I don't think I've encountered a character where I've been like, this sucks. I don't want to voice this character. I think there's something enjoyable about every character I've, been given the opportunity to voice. And so, yeah, I love them all. They're so much fun.
Yeah, in auditions, like, of course, there are probably, I don't know if you feel the same way, but for me, I'm like, ooh, I'm not a good fit for this. I won't read on that one.
Yeah.
So those happen every once in a while, but I think it's just so fun to get to play in this crazy world, and sometimes our characters are like zany, out of control. I mean, I'm in the VeggieTales reboot, for heaven's sakes. Like, I'm like a little cauliflower and Madame Blueberry. Like, so it's fun to play those, and then it's fun to play more grounded characters like Jean, who's just like, we've got to protect Monster. It's fun to play in the sandbox of voiceover.
I think the variety is such a big appeal of it that like getting to just do all these different types is so much fun. Yeah, exactly what you said.
Yeah,
Like we're performers, and if we were being say if we were auditioning for theater, right, we would be cast not only based on like our ability to perform, but also a little bit based on the way we look. But when you remove that for voice acting, the amount of roles that we are potentially able to play like increases just exponentially, and that's so cool. Yeah.
It's really awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you for your time today. I have a question for my younger sibling, actually. So they want to do voice acting, but they aren't sure how to start. All of your humble origins are really inspiring, which makes me feel really optimistic for them. So what piece of advice would you offer?
Ooh. I mean, I always love to mention the website, iwannabeavoiceactor.com. It is an incredible resource by an incredibly talented and generous voice actor. His name is D. Bradley Baker, and oh gosh, he's done
prolific.
He's prolific. Like the speaking of range and getting to play in this world, like I mean, he voices characters like Appa and Momo in The Last Airbender, and like does crazy creature voices, but then also does amazing speaking roles too. And he created this website that is so very generous. It is like a comprehensive, in a way, roadmap, even though there's not one direct way to become a voice actor, but it's like how to get a demo, where to go for classes, how to get an agent. It's so in-depth, so I love to recommend that resource to people. There's also a voice acting club on Discord. Kira Buckland is the one who runs that one,
The
right?
voice of Kuki Shinobu.
Yeah, and there's so many resources online. With that, I do want to say, like, there are people who are wanting to make a buck, and so you have to be careful and make sure the places that you're going to are not just trying to take your money. So don't take a class that's like, you get a demo at the end of this, because odds are it's a scam. Yeah, it's not a good thing. But Voice Acting Club and iwannabeavoiceactor.com are some great places to start.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
I'm going to get your takes on my battle strategy of me versus the voice acting industry, if that's okay. So I'm at the end of college, so I don't really have time for thing classes since I'm a CS major, so it's more of a side thing. But currently on my list is make my own little closet space as a voice actor.
Love it.
The only experience I can really think of is try and get into the improv thing on my campus, as well as how to explain this, just shotgun as many auditions as I can on voices.com if that's a reliable resource. I don't really know how you
I have
agent
feelings
yourself.
on voices.com.
What's your take on voices?
Well,
'Cause you can
what's my
get
take on voices?
jobs.
Well, voices. No, but voices.com.
Can you please voice your opinion?
Voice my opinion. Yes, here I go. I would be careful because the voices.com, I know in their most recent, maybe not most recent, but in the last year or so, you're basically doing auditions on that website, and it's training. They take your auditions to train AI to replace us.
Yeah.
So we don't
No, I'm
love
not
that.
taking those ones. I do see those. I was like, why?
Yeah, I would be wary. The other problem with voices.com is that it's kind of a race to the bottom. So it's degrading fair pay in our industry. And so it's like, oh, you could book a national commercial for whatever brand, and they're gonna pay me $50. Wow, no, that you should be getting paid like if for a national commercial, you should be getting a lot more than that. And so voices, I wouldn't recommend. This is gonna be on the internet. That's fine. I
That's
don't.
okay. It's not. I mean, like, I agree. Like, that's not a terribly controversial opinion among voice actors.
Yeah. I know there are other companies out there that do pay to play websites that are more ethical. I think Voice 123 is still on. It's like
Yeah, I've
walking
seen-
the line, but leaning more toward the ethical side of things.
Pay-to-play sites are tough because if you're not paying a certain amount, you might not be prioritized as much
Yeah.
in terms of like getting yours up the ladder to be seen by
Yeah.
casting. So like, there's.
But
I'd
I
be
think,
wary.
like your question of like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Is kind of your question. I think, well, this is also related to whatever the last question was of someone asking for advice for their sibling. But
I've seen the was it Sungwon Show also recommended that website.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
But
Such a great
I
resource.
guess really quick, I just want to say this isn't about cleaning, but it's kind of like Marie Kondo. What sparks your joy? Like I think it's really easy to get ahead of yourself, and I say this because a few years ago I was in your exact shoes of like I was in my last year of college and I was freaking out and I was like I have all my classes, but I also kind of want to try this voice acting thing. I don't know what to do, and I think the worst thing you can do is get too far ahead of yourself. Make plans about things that are not like what you're currently dealing with and not focusing on like, well, what is it I'm enjoying about am I enjoying about this? How can I learn to be a better actor? That's the biggest thing. Taking classes and like joining an improv group, like maybe joining communities where you can like
That was the number one
practice
piece of advice I
scenes
was
with
trying to
other
take,
aspiring actors. Like, I think these like first steps should be like the main focus right now. And then the question of like, well, how do I start booking jobs is sort of a separate question altogether. And there's so much. I mean, that website that we were talking about, I think there are a lot of like really good answers there. But I think for any of that advice to help you, I think the first focus is classes, being the best actor you can possibly be.
I was trying to use
So
that
if
in
you're
my-
like, what do I do? That's I think a good
My
focus.
leftover credits on anything like I can find on campus related to acting, I'm trying to take. I also joined that. What was it? I think Fischl's voice actor did. She was part of Junes. There's a Discord thing where they have sourcing there as well.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
in that.
there's the silver lining of the pandemic is that there are so many classes online, like that are accessible to anyone anywhere. And I know there's a great studio in LA, Real Voice LA, and they have amazing classes, and so that can help you kind of continue building your art, your craft, your skills as you're working toward how to get the jobs too. So I think use the internet.
Google is your friend. man.
Classes and community. And
Yeah.
maybe this is a weird thing to push.
No,
but
I
I think
welcome
you should
it.
like make a Twitter. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be so honest.
Twitter?
That connected me
Yeah.
to so many people who are like such good friends now.
Yeah.
But like introduced me to circles where just like by osmosis of being on the same social media
Networking.
site as people, I like learned about the industry.
Yeah.
Helped a lot.
It's so true.
Or X, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you so much.
Formerly known as
Any
Twitter.
criticism is welcome. I need to refine my approach as I'm going. But thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Hello.
Hello. Oh, is this thing?
He's on. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, no.
It's
Run
falling.
away.
There it goes. I got just put behind it.
Perfect.
But anyway, I am a first-year student here. I've actually been, honestly, a fan of Genshin ever since it released onto the PlayStation 4. And as a continuing Genshin player, I noticed all the food that has been implemented into the whole Genshin universe. And as a bodybuilder, I always try to recreate those type of foods because I also love to cook.
Oh yeah,
That's so cool.
that's
See,
so great.
There's also another question I want to ask you guys is how recently have you guys been like tried to make the food that Genshin had to offer?
Have we tried to make it?
Yeah.
No.
I have
Not
not
at all.
tried making it.
No?
But now I really want to.
I did make tricolor dongo. once.
Ooh.
Turned out pretty good.
Hey.
I followed the Mori Kitchen recipe. I love Mori Kitchen. And then I was like, can I make dongo milk? So I tried just putting it in a blender with some milk and it did not great. It was super chunky. Like, don't do that.
Super
Ugh.
I know they have these sometimes, but I really want to go to a Genshin themed cafe.
That was so cute. I always see them doing it. I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh
Call
my gosh.
me.
There was a convention I went to a couple years ago where one of the like convention staff, they made sticky honey roast and it was so good.
That sounds delicious.
It was so yummy. So I could go for that again, but I'm not much of a cook myself. I'm a takeout fan. JK, I like cooking. I don't like baking though. Oh, that's a fun question.
Yeah,
I've never really thought about that. I should try some of these recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well then, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm also from the DC area, as Anjali is as well.
Love it.
This is crazy. So many DC Metro people
Love
here.
that.
Wild.
My question is, if you could make a quest storyline for your character, what would you do and why?
Oh, I love that question. I mean, I feel like Jean needs a quest to like take a break and go get pizza. That's what I.
She needs the obligatory beach episode.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
You're so
Although
right.
you kind of got that in that summer.
kind of. Jean was forced into it.
She
though.
was forced into it. Yeah.
And Lisa was like, "I've packed your bathing suit. Go." And she's like, "But Clee is gonna." Yeah, but she did have a good time. Jean's learning to relax, but it would be an awesome quest to be like, how can Jean maximize her relaxation?
I love that.
She would try to maximize it though. She would min
Oh,
max it.
that's true. That's so true. How can I gamify this?
Oh my gosh. How do I win relaxing?
Yes, when relaxing, absolutely.
Kudos to the writers because I can't think of a single thing. I don't know what the quest would be. I just know it would have to end with Dori doing the Scrooge McDuck dive into like a pile of
Oh my
Mora.
gosh.
Yes.
That's all I really need.
That's
Absolutely.
the
so
rest
good.
of it, fill in the blank.
Scrooge McDuck dive. Oh, that's so good.
I want A to meet the other Archons. Why have they been keeping her from the other Archons? Please let her meet the other Archons.
Yes. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, first off, I just wanted to say, Anne, I actually have the same shirt, and you have fantastic taste.
go.
It's really
Let's
cute.
go. It's so good.
All right, but my question for you is, to the three of you that have seen the anime Jujutsu Kaisen, would you be willing to give me your best Satoru Gojo impression?
You crying?
Oh, God. I hate to admit I haven't watched it.
It's okay.
You should watch it.
I should watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it. Just say you
No
crying.
bias. Wait, so what did I say?
You crying?
You crying?
Yes,
Is that
there you
one?
go. That's your best Satoru Gojo. Check. There
You
we go.
crying?
Yeah. Listen.
Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
should watch it, but you know me, I'm like, I always have to work, just like me.
You can watch it in your sleep.
That's what I should
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
You can learn by osmosis.
Right, yeah. Absorb it.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you. That's so fun. Hello again.
Yeah, thank you for answering my first question. Yes. Second question is, what Genshin enemy would you want to have as a pet, and what do you think your character would likely have as a
Oh,
pet?
I love that. Oh, okay, let's see.
Okay, if I had the Millennium Pearl Seahorse, then I could ride it. That'd be really cool. those new turtles that are in like the Chenyu Vale area.
Oh.
I was like, that's a big turtle. I want one. Because I can ride it.
You like
I basically
turtles.
want things I can ride. The Brishmalin tigers. I could ride that. Yeah.
That's a good answer. I don't even know.
I have no idea, but I do like the idea of a tiger.
Right? Okay, seriously, I was like running around in Sumeru the first time and I was like, there's a tiger. Can I catch it? Because there's like a net and you can like catch them and put them in your teapot. And then it came at me and I was like, no, I wanted to catch you. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah. Stab, stab.
I feel like this would resolve some unfulfilled desire I've had since watching Aladdin and seeing Jasmine with the Raja.
Raja, yeah.
I
Mhm.
feel I desperately need a tiger.
Yeah. Oh my
You're
gosh.
so wow.
Yeah.
This is an inspired answer.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I mean, Jean just loves cats and they're all wandering around nonstop. So she would
Oh,
probably
yeah.
just be like, and I'm going to adopt you and I'm going to adopt you and be the ultimate cat lady. That's such a fun
amazing.
question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I miss about like your character, like the character that you voice act? What would they have as pets like?
Oh,
Oh, what our characters have as pets?
Oh, well,
I don't think Dori would have a pet. I think Dori, unless the pet can like maybe like a crow that would like collect
Oh, yeah,
Mora,
collect shinies, yeah.
like shiny.
Yeah.
That's the only pet I think that Dori would
She
tolerate.
takes what's his name from Fischl? Like and
Oh no!
and you are mine, so you can collect my.
Oh,
no! Oh, that's his name. I could not think of it. Yeah.
Well, A would obviously have a fox, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh, Anjali, there is actually a character or like an animal in the game. They're called like thief weasels, and they collect the
Yes,
Mora
they
and they
collect
run
Mora.
around and
I
drop
need
them.
a herd.
Yeah,
I need an army of
Dory
them.
would just have an army of them.
Oh,
That's
Dory, you would
incredible.
just catch Dory like
Someone
walking
needs to
around,
draw that.
like, and they would all be on leashes, and she'd be walking.
Yes.
her.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Amazing.
they're all on leashes, like
Yeah.
and I'd be like wearing a fur with like
Yes,
the glasses.
yep.
I'd just be like,
like
that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So, hey, and
Hello.
I just first want to say thank you for all your hard work in voice acting throughout your entire careers, and
Thank you.
the voice acting profile in Genshin Impact is been phenomenal in my opinion.
Oh,
And
thank you.
So I have two questions. One is, with all the advices and stories that you shared, what ways and how do you determine that the career path you are pursuing is the career of choice for you? Like,
Ooh.
for me, I am gonna graduate soon and will be at the crossroads of whether or not I want to go to law school, but the gaming industry has been calling to me.
Yeah.
So I've been struggling over what should I do or how should I know what's the best course.
Yeah, that's.
This is not a
so
question I relate to at all.
Wait a second.
That's hard.
It is really, really tough because I think everyone's situation is so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, I think I might go crazy if I don't try.
Just try.
If
yeah.
like the regret would make me, like I would always think back on it. I would always regret it. I would always wonder. So I told myself, I'm gonna take a year, I'm gonna try it and like really dedicate and I was very, very fortunate. I was just out of college. I was living at home rent free. Like it was the ideal situation to set myself up for success. And I was like, I'm gonna dedicate all my time to this. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I go. And I got very, very, very lucky. And the entire time I was very aware of the odds, but I also knew how much I loved it. And so I think a lot of it is like self-reflection and
Yeah.
like coming to terms with like, what am I willing to do?
Yeah.
'Cause it's tough, but
I think that's so important though, like what you touched on, to just try. Because I mean, I know a lot of people who are like, this is what I'm gonna do. And then they graduate school and they're like in their 9 to 5 or whatever their hours are, in their job, and they're like, I hate this. I gotta try something else. And just being open to pivot, and using your interests and where you feel called to guide you. It sounds really like cliche and very surfacey, but like just like let your conscience guide you, and like where your heart is pulling you can really create a wonderful and beautiful path. It may not be easy all the time, but yeah, it'll point you the direction that you want to go.
Also, you're young. You know, like you've got time. You've got time. So if you want to explore a path, explore it. And maybe you find that that's not the one that you really, really want to do, and you have the time to change
To
your
pivot.
path. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. And second question, throughout the Genshin story, including character, story quests, and the events, which is your greatest highlight of them all? Like, is it any one of them that's the most memorable to you?
I mean, the beach. I can't even remember what the
Apple Archipelago?
Yes, that one is my favorite. I mean, I think it's the first time we get to see Jean relaxing a little bit, even though she's still like, I have to work. But we're finally getting to that. That was the one where we got to see her settle a little bit, and now we're seeing her more and more come into that calm space. But I loved that one. I mean, and someone mentioned earlier the story quest where everyone throws a surprise party for Jean, and that one was really special to me too. Like, and it's just so very Jean to be like, oh, I don't want the attention, but like that's so kind of them. Like, I loved that one. I think those two will always have a special place in my heart.
I have a really special place in my heart for Raiden Shogun's second story quest. So that's where you really get to dive like super deep into her lore and about her past and her like literally facing herself. And I think the growth that she comes out of that story quest with is where we're really starting to see her become her own person now that she has unshackled herself from the idea of eternity.
I love that. This is a less serious one, but I just like my moment with Kaveh because one of my really good friends plays Kaveh, and I liked bullying him.
I love it.
That's really it. I have no other justification.
It's so good.
Thank you, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, because the raffle is going to start in a minute, I'm going to have to cut the panel short. If you guys have any other questions for the voice actors, they will be out in the plaza. So feel free to walk up to them and talk to them, get their autographs. But thank you so much. Please give them a big round of applause.